We've been covering stories like this a lot lately. Concerns over high-powered weapons in faraway countries that may not have the friendliest relationships with the U.S. So does that mean we should be concerned? And how can we be prepared? For more on this, I want to bring in CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd. She was also the former Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism and Threat Prevention at the Department of Homeland Security. Sam, always good to see you. Realistically, what kind of threats does the U.S. face from these countries? Do we need to be concerned about nuclear weapons or cyber attacks?
Well, Lindsay, there are a range of threats that our adversaries pose, whether they be cyber, physical, malign influence, and more. But at the same time, as a Homeland Security official and for the Department of Homeland Security and the federal government, the approach is not just to tell the public about all the threats they're facing, but to inform them what to do about them. And that's exactly why the month of September is named as National Preparedness Month within our country. It's so that the public is aware of the range of threats facing them, how to get information about what to do, and those decisions can have life and death consequences, Lindsay.
So on an individual level, how can people be prepared for situations like the ones we discussed?
Well, at a minimum, everybody should visit ready.gov. There's an entire website that the federal government has put forward. It's part of the Department of Homeland Security to educate the public about the range of threats, whether intentional or unintentional, that they could face. Again, that's ready.gov. That website directs people to resources about what to do, as well as ways to get information. It also offers advice like signing up for emergency alerts and more. At the same time, it's not just the job of the federal government. State and local officials have their own means of communication, their own websites as well. So, for example, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection has issued a tweet about what to do in a radiation emergency. The state of Maryland has similar communications as well. And so it's the federal, state, and local officials that are putting out these communications, not to scare the public, but to direct them on what to do if they do face any kind of emergency. Because again, that could mean a matter of life and death, Lindsay.
You know, how have the threats to the U.S. changed over the last few decades? I mean, my father, when he was a child, he did those duck and cover drills. Of course, he has some choice words for how well those would actually serve them in that case. But, you know, we're also coming up on the 23-year mark of September 11th. We know that not only the fabric of American society has changed, but the world has changed since then.
It sure has. And the days of, hiding under a desk in light of a nuclear disaster provoked by Russia have passed. Instead, kids are sheltering in place as part of drills because of mass shootings. At the same time, the domains in which threats can materialize have also shifted. During our parents' generation, there were not cyber threats. Today, cyber hacks are a very real threat facing the homeland, as well as extreme weather. On ready.gov, the website that I mentioned, extreme weather-related disasters are a primary concern for emergency responders and public sector officials because they themselves lead to so many other cascading effects that could hurt people as part of their everyday lives.
I already bookmarked ready.gov. Sam Vinograd, thank you so much.
Thank you.